You're about to learn the debt-free blueprint nobody teaches. How to actually pay off your EMIs faster without living on instant noodles or pretending you'll suddenly become disciplined overnight. Because the truth is, most people don't stay in debt because they're bad with money. They stay in debt because the system is designed to keep them making monthly payments forever. And here's the weird part. The people who become debt-free the fastest usually don't earn the most money. In this video, I'll show you the exact psychological and financial system that helps normal people escape EMIs step by step, without unrealistic budgeting advice or living like a monk. EMIs feel harmless at first. Car EMI, phone EMI, credit card minimum payment, maybe a personal loan because it's manageable. And technically, it is manageable. That's the trap. Banks don't want you financially destroyed. They want you financially comfortable enough to keep paying forever. Because a person drowning in debt is risky, but a person surviving on EMIs, that's the perfect customer. And this is where most people get stuck for years. Every month feels like financial deja vu. Salary comes in. EMIs go out. Repeat. You work hard, but your future income is already sold before the month even begins. It's like running on a treadmill that charges interest. Now, naturally, most people respond by trying to budget harder, but that creates another problem. Because budgeting alone doesn't kill debt. It only slows the bleeding. So what actually works? Here's the first big mindset shift. Not all debt deserves equal attention, but emotionally, most people treat it that way. They split extra money across all loans equally because it feels responsible. But financially, that's usually a mistake. Imagine trying to put out 5 fires using 1 cup of water on each. Nothing actually goes out. Debt works the same way. Instead, you need concentrated force. This is why wealthy investors obsess over something called interest drag, because interest quietly eats your future wealth before you even build it. So the blueprint starts with one rule. Pay minimums on everything. Attack one debt aggressively. Now there are 2 popular ways to choose that debt. 1. The avalanche method. In this you attack the highest interest debt first. Mathematically smartest, and usually saves the most money. 2. The snowball method. In this you attack the smallest dollar balance first. Psychologically powerful because early wins build momentum. And honestly, the best method is the one you'll actually stick with for 18 months. Because debt payoff is less math and more behavior. But even after choosing a method, most people still hit the same wall. They run out of money before they run out of debt. So the real question becomes, where do you find the breathing room? Most people think becoming debt-free requires massive sacrifice. Sometimes it does, but more often it requires finding invisible money. And invisible money is everywhere. And use subscriptions, impulse Amazon purchases, food delivery fees that quietly become a second utility bill. But the biggest invisible money leak? Lifestyle inflation. This is the silent killer. You get a raise, and suddenly your life upgrades with it. Better phone, better car, more expensive weekends. Your income rises, but your freedom stays exactly the same. That's why some people making $60,000 feel richer than people making $150,000. Because wealth isn't income. Wealth is what you don't owe. And this is where things get uncomfortable. Because for a short season, becoming debt-free might require looking less successful. Driving the older car, skipping the luxury upgrade. Saying no sometimes, not forever, just long enough to stop renting your future to lenders. But even then, there's another mistake people make that keeps them trapped. A mistake that feels productive, but actually resets the entire cycle. This is the part nobody wants to admit. A lot of people don't have a debt problem. They have a stress management problem. Debt becomes emotional anesthesia. Bad day at work. Buy something, feeling behind in life. Upgrade something, bored. Swipe the card. Modern consumer culture is basically one giant machine convincing you that your next purchase is your next identity. And banks know this. That's why credit cards are designed to feel painless. You don't physically lose money, You just tap. Emotion now, consequences later. But later always arrives. And this is where debt becomes dangerous. Because eventually your monthly payments start buying your past instead of your future. Old vacations, old gadgets, old impulses. Meanwhile, your current self is stuck paying for a version of you that doesn't even exist anymore. That realization changes everything. Because once you stop using debt emotionally, the numbers suddenly become manageable. But there's still one final financial advice that majority people completely ignore. And honestly, it's probably the most important one. The people who successfully escape debt usually do one thing differently. They increase income while reducing debt. Not one or the other. Both. Because there's a limit to how much you can cut. But income, that ceiling is much higher. This doesn't mean start a billion-dollar business. Sometimes it's freelancing, selling and used stuff, weekend work, negotiating a raise, learning a higher income skill. Small extra income streams aimed directly at debt can collapse years of payments surprisingly fast. Here's an example. An extra $400 a month toward a high-interest loan doesn't just remove $400. It removes future interest too. That's the magic. Debt payoff accelerates over time. At first it feels invisible. Then suddenly balances start collapsing fast. It's like pushing a heavy car. The beginning feels impossible, but once momentum kicks in, everything moves easier. And this is why becoming debt-free is less about one giant heroic decision, and more about building financial momentum long enough for compounding to take over. But there's one final mindset shift that changes how you see money forever. Here's what nobody tells you about becoming debt-free. The real reward isn't the numbers. It's the silence. The mental freedom of not panicking every time your phone buzzes. The freedom to leave a toxic job. The freedom to invest instead of survive. The freedom to breathe. Because every EMI you remove buys back a piece of your future. And once that happens, money stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like a tool. If you enjoyed the video, give a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.